that is drawing all of these people to form mega churches? I remember, you know, when I was growing up, it was all about, you know, if you had 200 or 300 people in the church, that was considered a large church. What's going on from your perspective that's bringing in so many people? I'll start with you, Dr.
If we were to look at it in a relative way, I think people are longing, searching for something more than they can give themselves. And I think that when you meet the needs of the people, the word spreads. They come really to find out, what can you all do for me? What can you all do for me? What can Christ do? What can the church do? Is the church relevant to my family and to my present and my future?
Pastor Marriner said, I think people are looking for two things. I think it's practicality and the ability to apply what's being taught to everyday living. You're not above me. And I think if I look at the four churches, you know, churches don't usually find their assignment as a church. You know, we all have the great commission, and we know what that is, to point people to Christ, but I think each of us has been blessed by God to find what is our particular assignment to the body of Christ, and it's like anything else. And it's like anything else. You can have a Wendy's, a McDonald's, a Burger King, and a Hardee's all on the same street, but all of them are doing well because Wendy's makes them fresh. Burger King charbroils, and McDonald's does speed. And
So what does Mount Lebanon do?
I think our assignment is what we call second dimension believers. So we attract people that are looking for something different than church. They might not be new to a church experience, but they don't really want anything that looks like the trimmings of church. So everything we shape is contrary to church. Everything we shape is contrary to church. Everything we shape is contrary to church. We don't do a formal offertory period because we know that's our target. We know that's our target.
People are looking for something. It's like Melvin said, they're searching for something, and they know that it's not what they maybe saw before, what they grew up in, and they become so caught up in finding what they're looking for that they're willing to shed some of their old paradigms about church and the pastor eating at your house and shaking your hand after church, all that, and they realize, man, getting something that applies to my kids is more important than some guy shaking my hand after church.
And you know, I was going to ask you about that because a lot of people, that is one of the criticisms that we hear about
that can be lost along the way to make a growth is the intimacy that's created and maintained in a small setting. And so these brethren and others have learned how to bridge that gap, because we now have parishioners who perhaps don't expect for the pastor to preach to 4, 5, 6, 8,000 people and stand at the door and shake everybody's hand with sweat running down his head. It's a different clientele. It's a different clientele.
And get their attention. We have to hook them to get their attention, to let them know, even though it's an uncomfortable place to be, it is not where you want to be, you can overcome that and receive what you want. And receive what you want. So it's really connecting again the spirit with the mind of the individual. How can I get what I want? And watching screens.
The thing that we share in common is that we love people. We care about people. The whole myth, and Rick Warren addressed in one of his books, the whole myth that when you go to a large church, they don't care about people, all they care about is numbers. Well, the bottom line is, if that was true, nobody would come.
That's right.
The reason people come is because they feel like somebody loves them. And so we are intentionally doing things to make people feel loved.
Yeah.
After service, we have people assigned to shake
I was
hands
gonna
because
say,
it's important to us.
Tell me some of the specifics that you do in each of your churches then to bring people or to make sure that they have that connection.
We're real culture, we're culture sensitive. One of the things that I guess Bishop just said that made me think, we don't think that way though about any other organization. Go to Red Lobster, we don't get concerned. In fact, we don't go to the restaurant where there's not
Nobody
a
in the
crowd.
parking lot.
That's right.
Good point.
So church is the only place that some people wrestle with that.
Exactly.
And I think church sometimes, probably the biggest misnomer is we are in business. Biggest misnomer is we are in business. We are in business.
Well, that was going to be my
But
next
we're in
point.
business to impact people's
To
lives
impact
spiritually. I mean, that doesn't mean we are literally, looking at it through that lens. But I think church won't look at it like those people that come through that door are coming for something that we offer or a tangible.
People who didn't grow up in church are like, man, this is good. I can go to ATM right at church. They're excited. I can go to this bookstore right. Oh, y'all have this right here. Man, y'all to get maybe y'all can get a restaurant. So I can just do everything at church because they don't have this limited paradigm of what church is.
So do you try
And
to
making
draw?
people feel as comfortable as they can. Some won't stay, some won't come, but those who will, it is our job to make sure they have what they need. I tell them, I teach them, we ought to be efficient. There are some things in the church that will look like a business. There are some things in the church that will look like a business. And having a business principle isn't antichrist. It is very much Christ because it's organized to meet the needs of the people in the most efficient and effective way possible. And know that it's not about competition.
Right.
We all are doing, we all have our own niche.